Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another episode of this Piscean Reports. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you guys are having a terrific Sunday. For those of you new to my channel, welcome aboard. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. All right, I'm just going to make a quick little video. I wanted to just kind of chit chat with you guys for a minute. And just say, first of all, you know what? Let me start with this first. For those of you who are visiting our beautiful country, who's visiting America from all over the world, those of you who are having a good time, I'm so happy. I am so happy. We, America, is thrilled that you guys are enjoying yourself and that you're having a good time, And what's interesting is that you guys are literally reminding us just how blessed and how fortunate we are to live here, Is it perfect? No, but it's just amazing to be reminded that, all of the choices that we have in this country and all of the freedoms and just the amazingness of it. I have been watching a lot of videos for those of you who are visiting our country, who are just reminding me like, wow, you guys can't believe how big the stores are and all the choices that we have. And it's blowing my mind because I just assumed everyone had the blessings that we have here, So to hear that you guys don't have the choices that we have in everything, we just take so much for granted here. But you guys coming here is reminding us just how lucky we really are. So number one, thank you for reminding us just how amazing the country really is, and how fortunate we are in a lot of ways, Is it perfect? No, but we're tweaking and working on it, and and that's fine, right? It's no place is perfect, right? But you guys are really just reminding us that you guys are really, really lucky, and you're really, really fortunate. And the AC and the food choices, so many choices, and cream and sauces and flavors and food and and that's awesome. Thanks for reminding me that, and the rest of us, how fortunate we are to live here, and we're really, and I'm really proud. I also want to say this to the rest of America. I'm just so proud that you guys are showing up and showing out, and just being so kind to those who are visiting our country, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Nobody wants to have the other half of the world come and go, oh my God, that's terrible. But you guys are really, those of us who live in America, who are showing up and showing out and just letting them know, letting them see just how great it is to be here. You guys are awesome. You're awesome. Thank you for, showing a more positive side to our country, that it's not all doom and gloom, we are blessed and we are fortunate, Now, having said that, I wanted to say the reason I'm making this video is because yesterday I went to a festival that we have here annually in Missouri. And they did a 1,400 drone, light show, and it was spectacular, absolutely spectacular. But and the fireworks were amazing. It was fantastic. It was literally the best fireworks display that I have seen ever and all my days of living here in St. Louis. It was pretty spectacular. So but I also wanted to say this, what I was most amazed by is just the beauty, the beauty. I remember I went with a friend of mine, and I was looking around at all the different faces, ethnicities, all coming together to enjoy and to celebrate, our country's 250th anniversary, and I just remember thinking how beautiful it is, how beautiful it is to see so many people come together of different ethnicities and different backgrounds and all gather together. And I looked at my friend and I said, man, it is so many beautiful people, and it's so beautiful. It's so many beautiful people here. But I wasn't thinking physical beauty. Just look at how many beautiful souls came together, and the one of the other, there was two highlights to last night: the fireworks display, the drone display, and well, aside from, there was this one tiny little thing in the drone display where, the proud sponsor Chevrolet decided to, show a few other things. It was I looked at it as the shameless plug, but whatever, it was a spectacular display, and I probably would have did the same, but whatever, there was that. But other than that, it was sensational, right? But like I said, there was two things that stood out most in my mind last night as I was leaving out. And what's amazing is I wasn't the only one who had shared this sentiment, who felt this sentiment, right? It was the display, which was phenomenal. And as we were leaving out, I looked at him, the friend that I went with, and I said, how amazing is it that everything just went so smoothly, And when I say that, I mean, like, there was no fighting, there was no drama. It couldn't have been a more beautiful night, like literally. It rained and it cooled down, and there was this beautiful breeze off the river, and everybody was together. And I have been in the past. It was one of the things why I think a lot of people had stopped going for a minute, was because of all the fighting and the craziness that would take place down there. But last night I said this, and I heard other people behind me say the same thing, like how it was beautiful, man. All these, how we could all come together and just have a beautiful night, and I was amazed by that. I was floored by that. I was delighted. I was amazed. It was just a glorious, glorious evening. And it was made that not only because of the display, but the fact that all of us from different ethnicities and different backgrounds can come together, and just enjoy life, enjoy the evening, enjoy, the joy, And I thought that was so amazing. And as I said it to my friend, I heard someone behind me say the exact same thing. Man, it was great. There wasn't any fighting. There wasn't any drama. And I like I said, I heard several people say it as we were leaving out. And so it wasn't just me. But and having said that and thought that and experienced that, I wanted to leave this message with you guys. In the same way that we can come together for one night, and not fight, and not be racist, and not be ignorant, and not be, all the ugly, all of the negativeness, none of it was there. And if we can do that for one night, last night was proof positive of what I told my friend before we had even left out, which is anything is possible. Anything is possible in this world. Anything. It's just a matter of you wanting it. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want peace? How bad do you want to just see each other as just souls? We're just souls, Yeah, we look different, but at the end of the day, we're all just souls. We all just want the same thing, And last night is proof of that. And I thought to myself, if we could get together for one night, as Americans, as human beings, as souls, and just enjoy each other, and if we could do that in one night, we could do it every day. There There doesn't have to be war. There doesn't have to be fighting. There doesn't have to be separateness. There doesn't have to be, that whole, the mindset of us versus them. Last night was proof. We can all come together and just be. And I just wanted to say that, man, you guys, think about that. If we could do it in one night, we could do it every single day. It was amazing. It was amazing. And I told him that before we left out, anything is possible. Anything is possible. You just have to want it. How bad do you want peace on this earth? How bad do you want us to come together and enjoy each other and respect each other as souls, as human beings? Not as black and white and Chinese and, whatever, Latino and, Jew, and just be. We just are. We just are. And we can do that. We can do that. Really, anything is possible. You just have to want it. You just have to want it. Just want it. Really, really bad. If you want it bad enough, you can make it happen. Anything is possible. And I also was wanted to say this as well. Like I said, anything is possible. And I was, in honor of, it being America's 250th anniversary, I just thought about, I'm always telling you guys that anything is possible. There isn't anything you can't do if you put your mind to it, right? And as I was thinking about that, I started thinking about all of how great America is, and I started thinking, let's shine a light on all of the amazing people that America has been blessed with and have made that impact in the world, and I've always talked about that. I told you guys that we have all come here to be of purpose, all of us, right? And I told you guys, and I was like, I mentioned the Wright brothers and Henry Ford, and I was, as I was thinking about them, I said, I want to jot down some other famous Americans who, people said to them, that's impossible. It's like when people say that it's impossible for us to have peace on earth. Nothing is impossible. Nothing. People said to the Wright brothers, you can't fly. People said to Henry Ford, that's ridiculous. What are you doing? This whole thing about Trump, what is he trying to do? What's he trying to prove, with that? And I went through this list of inventors, these amazing inventors, people who probably heard that's impossible, and they made the impossible possible. And if they can make the impossible possible, so can you. So can you. And it starts with us just doing the tiniest things, having respect for each other, recognizing each other as just souls, And so I wrote down a few people, Philo Farnsworth, who invented the television, Jonas Salk, who created the polio vaccine and changed the world, with his vaccine. Thomas Edison inventing the phonograph, right? And the light bulb. And I know there's some contention in there where I've heard people say that there was African Americans who had some kind of input in that. And so I'm not here at this moment to discern or to judge and say, well, nope, it's actually this or it's actually that. We're just going to go through, And I did mention Henry Ford and Thomas Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, changing the world with communication, inventing the telephone, right? George Washington Carver, who changed agriculture through his inventive use of crop rotation, Amazing, amazing. And on top of that, it said his ingenuity had yielded over 300 peanut butter based products. You know, nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. It just takes you transitioning into this world and recognizing that you have value, you have worth. I'm here to do something. I don't know what it is, but, I was telling my friend on the other side, we have full knowledge of what we came here to be and do. However, when you transition, that is taken from you. So that because it's all about the experience of life, and I was telling you guys that there's the belief and there's, that's fine, and there's faith and it's fine, but the experience of life, the experience of the Most High in your world and your guides and your angels, you're here and they're going to say, you know what, at certain points, we got you, we're guiding you, we're going to show you, My friend was talking about how he had been, he feels that, him playing the guitar is just an experience. It's just something. And I was like, no, honey, on the other side, you knew that this is something I'm going to do. These are the things I'm going to, be pulled towards, and for him, it was the guitar. And I said, imagine, on the other side, Billy Joel knew he was going to be playing the piano. Phil Collins was going to be drawn to drums, and when you're here, it's all about that. It's like you're thinking you're just, it's just, oh, I just happen to, like that or this and the other thing. And I believe that if it is not, it's one of two things. It is either this is something that you have known or done in another life and you're coming here, and which is why you resonate with something, why you gravitate to something so easily. Maybe Billy Joel played jazz in another lifetime. He played the piano in another lifetime, so it was natural for him to gravitate towards that. And the same thing with Phil Collins. Maybe he played in a band in the 1940s, when swing music was in style, and he played the drums. And so here we are in a new life, and this is something you resonate with. Anything is possible, right? So, there is that, let me see. Samuel Morse, who invented the Morse code, Steve Jobs, and I was like, wow, I should have started with that when it came in at the end. Steve Jobs, who not only built computers, but he reimagined technology. His mind, his brilliant, great mind. He was able to take what he knows and turn it into something so amazing that it affects all of us. It benefits, not affects. It benefits all of us. You know what I mean? All of these people came into this lifetime to be and to create and to make and do. And all of these things that are mentioned here, we now benefit from to this day. Doesn't matter how long ago it was. We all benefit from these things to this day, right? So, yeah, it's amazing. We're here. Yes, we are here. But we are here for the experience, We're here for the experience of things, to live and to be and to meet and exist and to share and to, make a difference in this world, But I definitely want to say that, if we are all here, if we could come together in one night and not fight or disagree or have drama or anything, we can do that every day. Every day. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. If you could think it, it can happen. It's just a matter of how bad do you want it. When these people were inventing these things, how bad do I want this to happen? How bad do I need this to be right? How that, I'm so close and I feel it and I see it. I just need to tweak it and I just need to, and they made it happen, and if they can make that happen, something as small as literally having peace on earth, it can happen. It's just how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? You know? Man. Anyway, yeah. So I just wanted to just share that with you guys. It was a fantastic evening. Oh God, so perfect. It was so perfect, and it was so beautiful to see everybody come together in that way. And then at the end of the fireworks display, everybody's going USA, 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 and it was just beautiful. It was beautiful to see everybody for just a little bit, for just a minute, to truly love your country. And I feel the USA, that impact, that feeling, that sentiment really came from those who were on the other side of the world, who came to visit us and reminded us just how amazing our country really is. And it just made you feel that much more proud. Yes, it's 250 years. That's fantastic. That's amazing, But it was deeper than that, It was, wow, we are lucky. We are so lucky. Wow, really, it's like that. All of our choices, all of the food that we have, and all of the choices in food, and it's really like that. And they're like, oh my God, and the air conditioning, and oh my gosh, you guys, that blew my mind the most, because I just assumed that was something everybody had all over the world. That's just a given. And to hear that there are parts of the world in Europe that don't have it like that, and it just once again reminded me of just how lucky we are. Like, when I'm done with this video, I get to go turn my AC back on, and be cool and comfortable, and then go make myself something to eat. What do I want? Do I want to eat this, or do I want to eat that? Do I want to have this? Do I want to have that? Do I want to get this? Do I want to get that? Do I want to go here? Do I want to go there? Just the overall amazing freedom that we have in this country blows my mind now. And I think it blew all of our minds. This summer needed to happen. This needed to happen, particularly for both of us, for both sides. It needed other parts of the world to see how great it is to be here, and how great, and maybe they could take that back. When we go back, we need to step it up a little bit. You know what I mean? So for you guys, there's that. And for us, it was just that reminder that we needed, that it's not all bad. It's not all bad, So yeah. But anyway, that's the video. I'm gonna leave it there. Like I said, I just, just know, if we can do that for one night, we can do it every day. We can do it every week, every month, every year, and globally. And I told my friend, I said, listen, as America goes, so does the world. And if we can show the world that we can all come together and live peaceably, and care, and just see each other, just view each other. We're all just souls. We're all here. We're just living life, and we're embracing our freedoms, and we're embracing each other for who we are. There's no need for us versus them. If we could show the world that, then so goes the world, right? Wow, America, they really just, they embrace that unity, and maybe the rest of the world. And at some point, I believe that it's possible that we can have peace on earth, that we can come together as a world. I think the United Nations would help a lot in that aspect, if they could all just come together and say, look, we can do this. I genuinely believe that we can be one world, just one. It could happen, but how bad do you want it? That's it. How bad do you want it? And I hope that one day we can just start, sitting with that, thinking with that the powers that be can let that sink in for a minute. I think we could probably do that. And let them all talk amongst themselves before they all decide to gather in one unison, in one agreement, and say, yeah, you know what, let's see if we can't make this happen and have a peaceful world. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. You just have to want it. You just have to want it. Anyway, I'm gonna go. You guys have a great rest of your day. It's looking like it's getting ready to storm. And I don't know. I don't know if I want all the lightning and the thunder and the mess going on in my video. So, and I pretty much said what I wanted to say. It was a fabulous night. And hopefully it was amazing where you guys were in your neck of the woods. Hopefully, you guys were able to come together and exist and be peaceably, just this amazing moment. And you guys, hopefully y'all had the same moment, is that's what I'm trying to say. I'm hoping you guys had that same experience and that same moment as well, because it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Anyway, I'm gonna go. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, and I will see you next time on the next video. You guys take care. Bye-bye.